Hello everyone, I'm Kyle Lake, and welcome to Know More, the educational television series that takes a look at what life would be like without nonprofit services in our communities. All of our lives were impacted in a variety of ways during the COVID-19 pandemic. Nonprofit and charitable organizations were hit especially hard during this time. In this special episode, we have assembled never-before broadcast stories about 4 amazing community services around Kentucky. Those stories include God's Pantry Food Bank, the Lexington Rescue Mission, the Nature Conservancy, and our first story is all about voluntourism and features volunteers from Kentucky's tourism industry helping some aspiring artists at Puzzle Pieces in Owensboro, while another group assembles bicycles for children at the Brighton Recovery Center in Covington. Let's take a look and know more.
KTIA, for the last 3 years, as part of the conference, we've done some kind of project within the community. So it's really been a joy to be able to come into communities and see what's going on, and to see what kind of impact, and to have the tourism industry, which is so impactful on the entire state of Kentucky, be able to give back into those individual communities.
Puzzle Pieces is really very unique to our Owensboro area. We try to embrace all people, and embrace diversity. With being the founder, this is my love and my passion, and I have a brother with a disability. So every day when I get to walk through the doors and see the clients or see the staff and see the community, how I want them to see our individuals that we serve, it's kind of a home run hit for me because they all are my brothers and sisters, and so they become a family member.
Our step is more outstanding to be helpful to people with our clients, to understand we all having a unique experience to be friendship, relationship with other people.
Today is going to be about having activities that the volunteers will be able to partake in with our clients. So they're going to be painting a canvas, and there'll be a stencil on Owensboro that is a puzzle piece, and then they'll get another stencil with a heart that they get to put where their hometown is on their canvas. So hopefully when they take that canvas home with them today, they remember the faces that they got to paint with and realize whether that is someone that has Down syndrome, autism, cerebral palsy, that they had the same exact desires, and they were able to share that experience with them. And then we're going to be, we have a local cupcake bakery that's coming in, Maggie's Cupcakes, and they're going to be decorating cupcakes with our clients, which we love to eat and cook, so that's a great experience in itself. And then at lunchtime, we are going to entertain with a battle of lip sync battle that we're really notorious to known here in Owensboro for. And so, we try to embrace the experience of what our clients love to do every day, and that is building relationships. That's making a difference, but that's also between painting and eating and dancing.
It was so interesting to not only do the tour, but to hear a little bit of the history of the center and the impact it's made, and how it's so intertwined with the community, the way the community has really poured into them, and conversely how they've really poured back into the community. Well, the primary person that I was working with was named Kevin, and Kevin was, he likes to entertain, so full of joy, and wanting to give a word of appreciation to everybody that was around him.
So we can learn from each other, not only our peers in the industry, but the clients who were at Puzzle Piece today, and we can take that information back and share that in our hometowns. It's days like today when we have a chance to reach out into the community and to assist with special programs like Puzzle Pieces. So we learn every day, and there's new opportunities, and it's great to have our members involved in a voluntourism event. But for those who were unable to sign up for this particular tour, they have missed a very personal, heartwarming experience that has touched, I know it's touched me personally, and I'm sure it's touched others that were in this group as well.
Have some very special friends that I'll just hold in my heart and hold them dearly forever.
Participating is a part of our founder, and my passion is my heart, and I feel that.
The Recovery Center is a long-term recovery program for women suffering with substance use disorders. We're part of a statewide initiative. There are several recovery centers in the state, and we're all basically modeled the same way. It's a long-term residential program. The women come here and they're with us anywhere from 9 to 15 months, depending on their individual progress. So we get to spend a lot of time with them working on their individual situations.
Brighton Center for us has always been a great partner. We started with them doing some things last year through Travel and Tourism Week, and down in one of their facilities in Newport with the kids. And we just had a great time. They're a great partner. They love when I throw crazy ideas at them. And then I've heard about the bike build through other organizations and decided to do something fun, not only by giving back, but also teamwork. We did learn how to build a bike. We had a few difficulties, but we did learn how to build a bike. And then we had trouble with some of the handlebars not fitting, and we had trouble with one of the seats that didn't get approved. But we had a great time. The videos that we did as a team, Born to be Wild, it was a lot of fun. It was a great team building experience. The bike rolls, yeah.
Well, I have to say that I cheered them on a lot and didn't pick up a wrench. I helped draw the signs that go on the bikes with the inspirational messages for the kids. Oh my gosh, such a heartwarming experience, getting to know some of the residents and just knowing that you're building bikes for these kids who are missing their moms. I mean, right now their moms are away from them, and to be a part of that is just amazing. There's not even words for it to say these kids are going to wake up on Christmas morning and have bikes because KTIA volunteered our time this morning to come and help build them.
Not only the 10 women who get to give the bikes to their children, but the women who have lost relationships, family members not speaking to them. This really benefits them as well, because it amazes them that people they don't even know care enough to take time out of their day to show up here to support them. And it helps with their self-confidence and their self-esteem.
It was a fun experience because I got to do stuff with people I don't know. But the only thing we had trouble with was the seat. We couldn't get the seat tight enough. But after it was all said and done, it was amazing. I was nervous at first when I was sharing my story, but getting to do something for the kids, it warms my heart. I feel normal, like I don't feel different, you know. What this house has gave me, it's helped me find who I am. I just wanted to ride the bike. I'm glad they let me just experience riding the bike, because that takes me back to my childhood. And I don't get to talk to my twin brother, and it made me feel close to him. Sorry. Listen, don't just judge somebody by the outside. Actually sit down and listen to somebody, see what they go through, and see if you can relate. And Brighton has done that, and I'm very grateful for this place.
I think it was an amazing experience. I think it's great that Brighton was able to have some of the ladies here that live here and have been through that stage in recovery of their process to join us. And I think having KTIA here with all of us in the travel industry throughout the state of Kentucky just was the icing on the cake.
It's so awesome to be able to be a part of something like this. You know, I work a lot of hours, and I often don't have time to do this. So with KTIA organizing and getting it all set up, I'm able to go and do, and my employer says go and have fun and be involved. And I think that it's important for the tourism industry to be involved and give back to our community that worked so hard to impress our guests when they come.
Getting our story out about supporting recovery is just as important as helping these women get their lives back together.
Voluntourism is so so great for your heart. It just feels good to give back.
Did you know that in Kentucky, 1 in 6 people are unsure about where they'll get their next meal? Our next story is about a program that started in 1955 with a lady handing out food from the back of her station wagon that is now a program serving over 50 counties in central and eastern Kentucky, partnering with more than 450 food pantries and distributing over 41 million pounds of food in 2020 alone. Let's take a look and learn more about God's Pantry Food Bank.
So we've been in business since 2009, making fresh pasta, supplying to restaurants and grocery stores. We supply to all the Krogers in the Lexington area. There are 15 Krogers in the Lexington area. So whatever we don't sell at Krogers, we pick them up, and then that's what we give as a donation. Yeah, so no, we don't throw pasta away. Well, the first thing is that we're helping others. You know, we're feeding the local community by not creating food waste, and also by partnering with somebody like God's Pantry and Feeding America. We're actually helping the community in a way that we've never imagined, and now we're doing that. Is amazing.
Little C's, you just go ring the doorbell, they bring it out to you, you bring it here, you weigh the food up for them, and you're on your way. Dairy products or meats or pizzas, things like that, you check the temperature. Most of the produce, or if they're dry goods or canned goods, you don't have to do anything. You just load them in the trunk and bring them over and drop them off. Just kind of giving back to the community. You know, it gives me something extra to do, and the people really appreciate it. When I go to the Nest, I'm known as the pizza man. Because I show up and people were standing there waiting for pizzas. But it's personal satisfaction, I think, just to know that you're doing something, you're making sure this food is getting to the people who really need it. And there's a lot out there that has to get someplace, and need people to take it.
We have been extremely blessed by a partnership with God's Pantry to meet the need, not just non-perishable, but perishable items, to get those out to folks. So things such as fresh fruits and vegetables that folks really struggle to have access to, barriers of transportation, but also just barriers of cost. Middle Mile program really provides that access to that meal. For folks that are in critical need and that don't always sit down and have a meal together. So from fresh produce, cut produce, to full-on pasta and meal and prepped potatoes and vegetables that are ready to go. All we have to do is heat them up and serve them, which makes it really nice staffing-wise, so that we are not having to put a ton of work into preparing a meal.
These stores, instead of throwing stuff away, they're not throwing it away, and it makes them feel good that they know that it's going somewhere where somebody can use it. You know, it's not bad food. After we joined the Middle Mile program, what was so awesome is like we were getting so much. So that changed the dynamics not only of our food, but it changed the dynamics of the quality of our food, that where we can feed wholesome, good, hot meals. So we're feeding, anywhere from 300 to 400 people a day, and we want to be able to provide good meals. They're so grateful. They're like, I don't know what we would do. I'm like, I don't know what you would do either. Just be grateful we got the food. So we're pretty stoked.
Our next story features a group in Lexington that since 2001 has worked to rebuild lives that have been broken by poverty. In 2020, the Lexington Rescue Mission served over 44,000 meals, placed over 200 people in homes, and helped over 150 people attain gainful employment. And that's only a little bit of what they accomplished in only 1 year. Let's meet the Lexington Rescue Mission.
So the Lexington Rescue Mission started in 2001 when my parents, Jim and Becky Connell, really felt God leading them to some kind of ministry that would serve people who are struggling with poverty and homelessness. And it turned out that Lexington, Kentucky really needed additional services for people who are struggling with homelessness and poverty. And then the very first service that we offered was a Thanksgiving dinner for people who are hungry and homeless the night before Thanksgiving in 2001. And so that was really what launched the mission. And from there, we started providing meals and clothing and shoes and help with bills, just really trying to be relevant for people who are struggling. So here at our outreach center, this is often the first place that someone comes when they're in need. Oftentimes they'll hear that we have good food, we have a meal, so they'll come in to get a meal and they'll meet people who are kind and welcoming, and they know that this is a safe and welcoming place that they can come and get rest. And so our outreach center serves as really a respite from the outside world for a lot of people who are hurting and they don't have anywhere else to go. For every person that comes to our walk-in hours, what we do is we ask them how they're doing, what's going on in their lives. And our goal is to get to know them, to get to know what kind of things they're struggling with. And while we really serve a lot of people who are homeless, that's not everybody that we serve. Some people are just struggling to put food on the table and they need a little bit of extra help with meals. Some people are struggling to get their kids clothes for the school year and they just need a little bit of help getting back to school clothes. We help with that. Sometimes they're having a hard time making ends meet and paying rent, and so they're facing eviction, and that's where the Rescue Mission can step in and help try to identify housing for them that's affordable, move them into housing, and make sure that people aren't falling through the cracks. We also rely heavily on volunteers. We could not do this ministry without volunteers coming in every day and helping us serve coffee and serve lunch and teach classes and pray for people and mentor people. Our volunteers make this ministry tick. They make it possible.
I came here on August the 14th, straight out of prison. I had nothing when I walked out the door. I had no clothes. All I had was a pair of sweatpants and an old t-shirt and flip-flops. I walked in that door and it's been nothing but love. I was second day here. I went to work for their lawn care service. I enjoyed it. On Monday morning, Renee had me a job, Overall Timber, and I've been there ever since. But here, they give you love. I mean, if I needed food, I had it. If I wanted coffee, I had it. If I needed anything, they will give you anything here and plenty of love.
This is the House of Hope, which we added to the Lexington Rescue Mission in 2017. We were blessed with a grant that allowed us to purchase this building and turn it into the second phase of our transitional living program for men. So as guys finish up at the Potter's House, they get employment and they're ready, they're a little bit more stable, then they can come over here to phase 2, and that's where they're put into a double room rather than the big dorm area, and just receive further case management and help getting back on their feet. So Jobs for Life is our employment training program where we teach people the skills they need to find, obtain, and maintain lasting employment. So our goal is to make sure that anyone who needs job skills can find them and learn them through the Lexington Rescue Mission. But we really don't want to stop just at teaching the skills. We really want to put people to work.
It's guys getting them gainful employment and having a safe place to stay that's not around the behavior that we used to be in. Living this way is abnormal to us. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And so you have to live, you have to learn, other people have to show you how to do it. You know, you trust them and they'll show you how to live soberly, how to be an outgoing person, how to keep a job, those things.
This is Grace Place, and this is really intended for women who are just in need of a helping hand to get up and to be able to move out eventually on their own so they can be independent. A lot of these ladies need some accountability as far as remaining sober. They need to learn some life skills so that they can manage a budget and eventually maintain housing. And they need to get employment so that they can support themselves and their families.
I tell them there's plenty of help. Quit listening to the voices in your brain that says you're not worthy, that says nobody will accept you, you know.
I've never seen a place like this in my life. I thought it was fake for a while, but it's not. It's real, and it's really great to be here. I wouldn't change it for nothing.
Our final feature is a global entity with a very localized presence here in our communities. And because of this, Kentucky has over 20 miles of natural hiking trails available amongst 7 different nature preserves. And there are an additional 13 preserves constituting over 900 acres of land. So enjoy this beautiful tribute to Kentucky's nature. And until next time, I'm Kyle Lake, signing off and asking you to know more.
We got our start here in Kentucky in 1975 because I think fundamentally it was a group of really committed, dedicated people who cared about Kentucky, cared about its past, and cared about its future, and wanted to work on the ground to protect lands and waters that are important to us all.
You know, when I look back at what a difference we've made in the Green River, in the Kentucky River Palisades, working on Pine Mountain in eastern Kentucky, in many, many cases, we were the catalyst for conserving those areas.
My connection with the Nature Conservancy goes back to 1996, the Green River Conservation Reserve Enhancement Program. That program has wound up protecting a lot of land on the upper Green River. 100,000 acres is under contract for conservation practices.
Those farmlands that were enrolled were then planted to native grasses, native prairie plants, back to trees along the river.
One of the 4 top rivers, certainly in this nation, in terms of its biodiversity, its plant life, its fish, its mussels, and so on.
The green runs through the center of Hart County, and it's central to Hart County. The people of Hart County live off the land mostly. This is a rural area, agrarian area, and these people are involved with it. It's our life involved with the environment. So saving that environment is kind of fundamental to what Hart County is.
We've done a variety of work in western Kentucky over the years. A lot of our early focus was on grassland restoration, grasslands, glades, woodlands in the more upland sections of the Pennyrile area of the state. In the last 5 years, our primary focus has been on wetland restoration and protection in the area that we call the Mississippi River Bayous, which is the far western states along the Mississippi and Ohio rivers.
The Nature Conservancy is somewhat unique. In fact, I think very unique. It does not approach projects or problems in an aggressive, radical fashion. It pulls people, individuals together.
We're very good at bringing partners together to accomplish common goals that we put on the ground.
We're really good at developing relationships. Relationships with major donors, relationships with political representatives, public agency partners such as the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service.
And we have a great partnership with the Nature Conservancy. We do a lot of wetland restoration type projects together. Day to day, we just do a lot of communicating, a lot of collaborating, a lot of making sure we can leverage additional resources to bring to Kentucky to protect our water, our soil, our wildlife, forestry resources that we have here.
I think a future without the Nature Conservancy, we would lose a big part of hope, we would lose a big part of collaborative solutions, and we would lose a big part of the optimism in the conservation movement, all of which I think are really needed if we're going to seize and create the future that I think we all want.
The Nature Conservancy, in a lot of cases, is the partner that holds things together, that brings the other partners to the table. It'd be very detrimental if TNC was to go away.
I think we can create a bigger, brighter future for the resources of Kentucky, and I hope that they continue to do that and can grow, whether that's number-wise or offices-wise or just the number of acres that they're able to protect.
We have just projects in the works now. We have projects into the future that we're so hopeful for, and I just can't imagine Kentucky or really the whole U.S. and beyond without the Nature Conservancy.
There's a lot of people out there that have never heard of TNC and what it does, and I think that's the most important thing we can do going forward is to communicate it to others, because there's a lot of people out there that would like to contribute time and finances and other resources to help the cause. So I think that that's the biggest thing that we could do and be the greatest accomplishment is to continue to publicize it.
I look forward to bringing a new generation of young people from Kentucky to the Conservancy. We've got to pass this magic to another generation and getting them involved in everything that we're doing. That generation wants to be a part of something that matters. They want to be connected to something that makes a difference and gives back. And I think the Nature Conservancy has such an opportunity to reach down and connect with those younger folks and to allow them to experience just all the great things the Conservancy has to offer.